Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to another video. So, you found me in my living room doing a brief summary and brief loadout of the Cumbria Way, which I completed 2 weeks ago across 4 days. I wasn't going to do a summary or loadout because there's tons of them online. However, I felt I was going to do a summary of the route because even though we all know where we've walked, because it's the Cumbria Way, there's certain areas that are quite tricky where you can get lost. I just thought I'd run through that and also run through the 4-day itinerary, so where we started and stopped across the week. And I also thought I'd do a loadout, only a brief one, because it was my first multi-day hike, and with a bit of guidance from Matt, we feel like we got our packs pretty much bob on, and there's not much that I would change about them, so that's why we're doing it. So our packs in total weighed about 16 kilos, which wasn't too bad, I didn't think. I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. But before I go through the kit, I will jump to the summary of the maps and the route, etc. Okay, so let's do it. A brief summary of the Cumbria Way when the camera focuses. Cumbria Way maps. The route itself is not very well signposted in areas, so maps bring some. This is the Harvey long distance route map. Waterproof, looks battered because it got used. I would also highly recommend the OS maps because, as you'll see on this one, I think it's a 1 in 50 scale, so you can't obviously see things in depth, whereas on this you can zoom in to the route. As you can see there, the Cumbria Way, you can pre-plan your route so you know what mileage you need to do or how long it's going to take you to walk, and then you can zoom right in, and obviously when you're there it shows you where you are, whereas obviously it doesn't do on a paper map. So if you think that you're en route or you're off route, you can go onto this and it'll show you exactly where you are and how you need to get back onto track. The only days that were different for us, because we did it in 4 days, day 1 was the same as the 5-day itinerary, so Ulverston to Coniston. The only days that were different were day 2 and day 3 for us, because we had to squeeze in more mileage. So day 2 and day 3 were different. Day 3 there we did 23.22 miles. I would highly recommend this, but also highly recommend that for the rain and in case your battery dies. So let's get into the route. Okay, so let's get into it. This is very haze outdoors style as well with the knife, so thanks for the idea. Anyone watches outdoor videos, I'd recommend him, it's quite funny. Okay, so straight out of Ulverston, we nearly got lost straight away. So you come up out of here, this is a bit of a hill, bit of a hilly bit. If you've watched the start to finish video of mine, then a lot of this will make sense as well in some of the clips. Straight up out of here, might have to get changed because it was sweating. There's a sign here that says Cumbria Way. We initially thought it went up there. Matt pointed me in the right direction, it goes across a field, so yeah. All through here, there's not much to note really, through a few farms. The one thing I will note, if you do not like cows, then this isn't the walk for you.
More cows?
Because there are a lot of cows through a lot of the farmland. The first sticking point for us was, on these maps, these are like through fields, the solid lines are roads, and then where there's an exclamation mark it's a main road. So we came all the way through it here, Napa Thorpe, let me bring you down. So farmland all through here is pretty straightforward. Cows, bulls, sheep, you name it, through a few farms, etc. When we got here to Napa Thorpe, you get to this group of houses. Where are we? There we are. Get you on camera at least. Napa Thorpe, we got to these houses, there's a sign that somebody's very kindly put up that says Cumbria Way, follow the road. So without consulting the map, we followed the road. It does actually mean follow the road for about 10-20 yards this way. We ended up coming all the way down here, decided to check the map because of how far down the road we'd come, and we had to come back down this route onto the Cumbria Way. So that was the first proper point we got lost, well, sort of. And then on through the rest of the route. I can't think of anything that was tricky or stand out through the rest of this. Like I said, predominantly farmland. When we got to here, we came across some stubborn horses that wouldn't move out of our way. At the gate, we got through there eventually. As you'll see, it's worth watching the video of that bit, it's quite funny. And through, a bit of a road walk here. Oh, I'll get you on camera. Yeah, can't think of much else really that stood out through this section. Day 1 takes us, this brings you up to Beacon Tarn. This is quite a nice little walk on the tarn here. There is a path that goes down the right hand side, but as you can see here, the official route is the left. Scooch on down to section B of the map. Round Beacon Tarn, through some hills, down a bit of a valley. Pretty steady walking then all the way through to Coniston Water, and then you've got a nice gravel path right up through, right up Coniston, into Coniston. That's day one for the 4-day itinerary or the 5-day itinerary. Got some food here, and then we wanted to plough on a little bit and find somewhere to camp. So we ended up coming out of Coniston, up through here, Guardwoods. This is where I think this is where the little castle-looking shelter is, but I think the youths of Coniston must use it because there's rubbish and broken glass and stuff up there. That must be where they hang out. So we carried on through into Tarnhouse Woods. We'll bring it into shot, and we ended up staying in this little spot here between the main track and another track. We found a flat area and camped there. And that was the end of day one for us. So day two, we started off obviously here, came out up here along a bit of a road. It's more of a gravel track really than a road, I think, if I remember rightly. And then round along what's called this set of lakes here, or this lake is called the Tarns. If I zoom in on OS maps, it's called the Tarns. This is really nice area, nice walking. A few different routes though, a few different tracks, so just consult your map because it's not signposted. Right up through here. Yeah, pretty straightforward. The next section we got lost at, or struggled with the maps, was here. Well, it was actually here, but I'll use my phone to zoom in. So you come through round here, you can either go that way, that drops you down into like a bit of a valley and then brings you back uphill again. We walked this way, which is pretty flat the whole way. And then you get to the road here. Now on this map it looks like you come out, do a slight right turn up the road and then back onto the Cumbria Way. So if I get the phone out at this point, this is the zoomed in section. So you can see that's the left side, that's the right side that we took. You get to the road, it says to walk up the road a bit and then onto this path, which then takes you onto the Cumbria Way. We could not find this for the life of us. I think it must be discontinued. We ended up all the way up here trying to find it, could not find it, so we went back down to where we came out and then went down towards the bridge, and then there's a gate there which is signposted Cumbria Way. So then we carried on through there and then gets you back onto the Cumbria Way then. Just bear that in mind. Okay, so day two, where are we now? There. Yeah, right through some lovely scenery, houses and stuff through here. We stopped at Elterwater for an early lunch and then cracked on towards Great Langdale. So the 5-day itinerary would take you into Great Langdale and Old Dungeon Gill. It finishes there, does the day two on the 5-dayer. We got here about lunchtime, about 12, half 12, maybe even 1 o'clock. So we decided that we were going to crack on because we needed to get more mileage in for 4 days. So you crack on round the bottom of this hill. Oh, get it on camera. Round the bottom of this hill. Let me just find section C. So yeah, so we come day two. We had a quick drink at Old Dungeon Gill here, and then you crack on round the base of these hills and down to Stake Pass, which is here. Now this is a nice walk down this valley, following the river up the valley. Some fighter jets came through here as we were walking, which was cool to see. Stake Pass, as you're walking down the valley, it's not clear where you're going to walk, and when you get to the bottom here, there is another route that goes off to the left, which looks like it's the natural route, looks like the way you'd walk. But in the bottom here, when you get right to this junction, there is a big stone, and it's engraved in it saying, whichever way this is, might be Rossett Pike it might say, and Stake Pass to the right, and then you go up the side of the river. This is quite a steep climb. It's got steps, but they're not the best. From about here you can see all down the valley, great picture shots and stuff. And then you go over. Now this section across the top of here, I think this is about the top, is really boggy. It was for us anyway. Sort of bog bog sort of standard. You could be up to your knees in some of it if you're not careful. And then all the way across the top before you start, if I read the map rightly, yeah, the descent coming down. This descent is quite tricky. With this scale you can't see, so you do a bit of lefting and righting, a bit of turning, before you get to the bottom. Around here there's a bridge just there, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. There's a tiny bridge just there. So all this walk down is quite treacherous. There's a path for most of it, and then it gets, from here onwards, it's really rocky and stony. Now you can cross the river here, and this path follows the Cumbria Way all the way down to another bridge here where you can cross over. In the video I discuss it and mention it. The left hand side path looks much easier than the official right hand side. This is slow, rocky, slippy, wet and painful on your legs and your knees. So it's up to you which route you take, but we did take the official right hand side one. This is really nice down here, loads of junctions with the rivers and stuff. And then we made our way into, the plan for us was to make our way into Rostway to find somewhere to eat and then trek on out and find somewhere to camp. When we got to Rostway, there wasn't anywhere that we could see to eat anyway. We spoke to the people at the hotel and they suggested we walked down the road to here, and then there is a pub down here somewhere, but it's about another half a mile. So we walked into Rostway, walked 10 minutes down here. The pub was another half mile down here, or there is a Borrowdale Youth Hostel there. I would recommend going there. If you want to stay at the youth hostel, I'd advise booking in, because we went, it was full. The camping site wasn't full, but they run it on the number of people that are allowed to use the facilities, and they had a school booking in, or a kids group, so it was full. But they've got a really nice campsite. You can get food there, you can get a pint there, obviously get refreshed and everything there. So yeah, there's the youth hostel there, highly recommend it. So because that was full, we got some food and a drink there, and then we carried on up this path, which took us back onto the Cumbria Way, and then walked through up into, it says Castle Crag here, but it's actually called High House Wood. That's it. It's actually called High House Wood. So we came up through here. Now there are a couple of perfect little spots to camp right on the river's edge. If you watch the video you'll see it. I'll put a quick picture up now. Yeah, so we camped in here. Perfect campsite, little camp spot. And that was the end of day 2 for us. Day 3 was going to be a tricky one. Up through Keswick. I don't think there's much to shout home about here. Some nice caves to explore around here if you've got time. So we cracked on right up to Derwentwater, which takes us, you go right up the side of Derwentwater. Nice flat paths. Compared to Stake Pass, this is a blooming blessing. Right up through, and it takes you up and into, get the map right, Keswick. There's a pencil museum if you want to stop at a pencil museum. Keswick, get refreshed. So we landed in Keswick about 10:30. Went into Wetherspoons, got a breakfast, because we knew that we weren't going to be finishing our day 3 anywhere near a pub. We were going to be in the middle of nowhere. Between Keswick and Colbeck, there isn't any shops, so top up here, which is what we did. So after our lunch, we trekked on out of Keswick. Right, let me go to section D on the map, which is here. Where's Keswick? Right, up out of Keswick. This section along here and up here, I think it was up here. Yeah, right, this section from there up is steep. It's a nice flat path, used by plenty of walkers, but it is steep. So just bear that in mind straight out of Keswick. You've got a right climb up. I think it's up to here, because here is a car park. So yeah, this section, in particular this bit, really steep. Car park there, you carry on through, and then you end up walking round the bottom of all the valleys. There's a terribly steep hill here, but luckily you don't go up it. Move the map, that'd help. So you go round the base. You start going around the bases of the hills, then heading towards Skiddaw House, which is here. That doesn't seem like far, but it's quite a trek. Really nice paths. just steady elevation really up to Skiddaw House. Got to Skiddaw House, youth hostel, let down here again. This had a private booking in, so it was full, so we couldn't get in. There was a sign outside saying please do not disturb, so we didn't even want to go in for water. Now at this point, you've come through, this is all nice, lovely mall and nice walking around here, it's good. When you get to here, you can either take the official route, which I think is the eastern alternative route, because this goes over High Pike, so I think this is the official side, or you can take a western alternative route. I'm not sure where that takes you, because we didn't do it, but they do eventually. I can zoom out. Western goes all the way around, eastern goes round, and then they do both meet again up here. But anyway, we took, zoom back in, the eastern route. So took it all down here. Again, lovely walking right through here. We topped up for some water somewhere along here at one of the streams coming off the top. Then you get to here, it's a bit of a road. This is all lovely walking, really nice scenery, good walking. You get to here and you walk from here to the mines. This is really nice. Walking up to the mines, quite interesting. From here, from the mines to this section here is probably the worst section of the route of the walk. It runs along this little stream, this little beck. It's literally like a sheep trail. It's barely noticeable, very rocky, wet, steep, tough. Especially as Lingy Hut's there on the hill. But when we were aiming to get to that point, that's 18 miles already you've done from Rostwick, yeah, where we stayed. So you're pretty much 18 mile in and you've got one of the hardest climbs, in fact the hardest climb on the route, which is there. The trekking poles came in really handy there. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Then you get up here, you scoot off right, this is flattens off here as you're on pretty much on the top of the hill here. Lingy Hut, really nice little place. If you can get in there to stay, I'd recommend that. We got there about 5 o'clock, there were already 3 guys in there. And we wanted to be sort of set up by 7, so we still had a couple of hours spare. So we cracked on up to High Pike. Yeah, trekked off. We just wanted to basically get as far as we could this day, find somewhere to camp. So we came off the hill. We actually took, by mistake, this route, I think. On the top of there, on the top of High Pike, it says there's the trig that says Colbeck, but there is a few little paths that scoot off. I think we took this one by mistake. Then I looked at my maps on my phone, realised we were all the way over here, so then we had to scoot round the base of High Pike and back onto the route. And then coming off down here, yeah, it's pretty standard, it's all grassy, nowhere to pitch up really. And then you come right down and pretty much, once you get down to here, it's pretty much a road walk right into Upton and Colbeck. There is nowhere we found, unless you really start going off route, but there are a lot of farms kicking about. So if you're wild camping, there's a lot of buildings and farms that will spot you if you wanted to be stealthy. So we couldn't find anywhere suitable to camp, so we cracked on. But luckily, when you get to Colbeck, let me go to section E of the map. Colbeck, come through Colbeck into the town, there's a pub here, and then this section here is a campsite. Colbeck Camping it's called. I would highly recommend. You can charge your phone up, shower, toilets, whatever else. Take cash, they do have a card machine, but I think they prefer cash. So yeah, this was the end of our day 3, staying here. 23.5 miles it was from Rostwick to there. We were tired at this point. After there, now there's loads of signs up in here talking about an alternative route to get around the landslide, which takes you, I think it takes you up out the back here, probably on this route if you can see that red dotted line, and it takes you right across, and I think it brings you in back up here somewhere. Having looked on Facebook at the Cumbria Way site, it said it was passable, so we went through it. We walked through here. Initially thought it was in here, but it wasn't. Carried on through. The landslide is in here somewhere. But it is passable, sorry, there. Passable, so you can walk the standard route if you want. And then, pretty much from here on out, you've got a bit of a climb out of Coniston into these woods. I say a climb, it's just a bit of elevation. And then it's all pretty much downhill from there. Where's the route there? Right the way through to back through farmers' fields, and you pretty much follow the River Coldew all the way into through farmland, etc., into Buckerbank, road walk through Dalston, and then pretty much from there all the way up to Carlisle, which is up here. This is the start of Carlisle here. You're sort of following like a cycle route and railway and stuff, so it's just like a tarmac path all the way. And then you're into Carlisle to the end. And that's it. It's going to be a brief summary, it's 20 minutes long at the minute. But yeah, that's it. Good route, good views, stunning views. Pointed out the tricky bits for you. Give it a bash. Okay, so that's the summary of the route. As you can see there's a little bit of advice, some little tips and tricks, hopefully that helped. Right, kit. I will start with, I've got it all here so I can pass from right to left so that I don't miss anything. So I'm going to start with kit, clothing and footwear. Didn't take too much. I took one pair of walking pants, which were a set of mountain warehouse walking pants. Nice, lightweight, breathable, relatively waterproof-ish, stretchy, perfect. One pair of them. 2 gym style t-shirts, polyester sort of material so that they dry out and they're very lightweight. Obviously underwear, socks. The set that I was wearing and 1 spare set, that was it. Sounds a bit minging potentially, but we were washing every night and rotating clothes as needed, so yeah, and it was perfect. You wouldn't need anything else. We weren't totally humming by the end, so I literally just packed the minimum that you need to keep that weight down. The 2 t-shirts, 2 sort of thin fleeces. It was September when we did it, obviously it was a couple of weeks ago. September the 9th we started. Temperatures were sort of between 8 and 17, as random as that sounds. When the sun got up it was really warm and nice, and the coldest night was our last night and the morning of the last day, which probably dropped sort of between 5 and 8 degrees. But when you're walking and trekking, we had plenty. So it's 2 t-shirts, 1 set of pants, underwear, 2 thin sort of fleeces, and 1 waterproof jacket and a hat. Footwear is a biggie, obviously. You're trekking 73 miles across the lakes, through the mountains. I only brought 1 in, because I don't need to read 2. These are the Lower, or Lova, I think they're pronounced. Lower Hunter Extreme Evo, I think they're called. Big boot. This is what kind of style of boot I use, because I do a lot of outdoor activities, country sports, etc. They kept me fully waterproof for the whole way, and it was really wet. But get yourself a good set of boots and some comfy socks. I use merino wool socks, so yeah, perfect. I didn't end up with any blisters. That's clothing, done. Next, I'll move on to the pack, because that kind of becomes a part of you. This is the OEX Valo 70 or V70, 70 litre backpack. Yeah, it's a backpack. Pockets everywhere, bit in the bottom of your bag, straps on the outside for tent, and then some waistband pockets, which were really helpful. Good pack, it kind of just becomes a part of you. 16 kilos, at no point did I feel like my bag was too heavy or uncomfortable. The only thing I would advise, on day 1, after day 1, I was really hurting in my groin, the inside of my legs, and I think that's because I had this waistband too tight, because Matt did similar on the West Highland Way, so he said to slacken off the waistband just a bit, put a bit more weight on the shoulder straps, spread that load out, and it was fine. My hip with groin was fine for the rest of the trip. So yeah, good pack, comfy pack. Might use the Osprey, might be Kestrel I think, 68, 70 litre pack. So from that I will move on to the big items, the camping stuff. Tent up first, because it's probably one of the heaviest individual items that you're going to take. This was the Bobcat OEX 1-man tent. Yeah, really good tent. I put a clip up of it, of me throwing it up. Ideal. About 1.8 kilos in weight. Ideal for weight, compactness, but also it gives you enough room, as you'll see when I put it up. You can sit up in it when you're on the floor, so you've got enough room in there to get changed. A little bedroom section, internal bit, which has a zip, and then it's got a little vestibule, so you can store your bag, your boots, everything if it's raining. Just a perfect tent. That's that. Next up is the sleeping bag. This is the OEX Fathom EV300. It's a 3-season sleeping bag, comfort down to 1 degrees, limit -5 and extreme -22. This kept me more than warm, really comfortable, really soft, and at this time of year I was almost too warm, perfect. A lot of the stuff is OEX. To be honest, I borrowed a lot of this off Matt because he's done them before. I didn't want to go out buying loads of stuff for my first one. So a lot of it is OEX from Go Outdoors, and I can't fault it, to be honest. the sleep mat. This is a Berghaus one. Berghaus Peak, is it maybe? Self-inflating mat, I don't know. It's not a thick mat, it's only probably an inch once it's inflated. But when you're sleeping on grass, it's comfy enough and compact enough. So yeah, that was comfy. At no point did I feel like I was sleeping. Even though we were sleeping on the floor and sleeping on that, I didn't feel like I was on a solid floor. Flip-flops. So when Matt told me to bring flip-flops, I thought he was joking. But when you've walked 15, 20 mile at the end of the day in boots, getting them off at the end of the day and putting these on is a godsend. Really comfortable, I would recommend them. Nice lightweight pair, definitely worth the weight carrying them. Whilst I'm on clothing still, I have not got very good knees. That's why I'm sat on the floor and not knelt up. So I took a couple of knee braces and I'm sure I wore them for the whole trip, so I don't know what it would have been like if I didn't wear them, but I'm pretty sure they came in good. They were recommended by another YouTuber called Wild Bear, who does a lot of camping and walking. She's got similar issues, so she recommended them, and yeah, they were really good. So if you've got joint issues, get yourself some supports. My left knee was a bit knackered at the end of the route, but I dread to think what it would have been like if I hadn't have had them. Mr. Pillow, while we're talking about sleeping, another OEX product, OEX Traverse Pillow, self-inflating blow-up pillow, blows up to about so big, so thick, yeah. If you want a thicker pillow, maybe get something a bit bigger because it's not that thick, but for me, it did the job perfect, 160 grams. Talking about support on my knees, trekking poles. Now, I wouldn't have been without these, to be honest. Matt didn't use any, but they saved me falling over on numerous occasions. They save your back for leaning forward going up the hills because you can put your weight through these instead of being supported by your back. Yeah, I would definitely recommend these. I didn't use them on the first day, but I did use them for the rest of the trip after that. So these are the OEX X-Lite trigger sticks. Yeah, can't fault them. The only downside which I found was this rubber buff. Well, it won't even come off. Comes on and off for if you're on road or gravel and you want to change to the spike. It just punched straight through the bottom of them, even on the roadway. So that's the only negative. The only negative. I kept them like that for the rest of the trip, and they were absolutely fine. Now these are the aluminium ones, which are £35 in Go Outdoors. They do a carbon version, which are £55 for the set. Now the difference per pole is 8 grams, which is less than this spork, because that's 8.8 grams. I only know that because it said it on the packaging. So yeah, for the weight of that, I just got the aluminium ones to save 20 quid. And yeah, wouldn't be without them. So I highly recommend them, no matter what your age is. I thought I'm only 30, I can't be buying trekking poles, but yeah, definitely helped, especially going up towards High Pike and Stake Pass, the climbs basically. Comfort, I took this mat, it was like 2 quid in Go Outdoors and it weighs nothing to sit on. Yeah, added a bit of extra comfort, weighs nothing, so that's what I took. Pack weight was 16 kilos including water, so I'll go through that. I bought one of these for the pack. This is just off Amazon, highly recommended on there, lots of reviews. This is a 1.5 litre bladder and it was perfect. 1.5 litre for drinking. By the end of the day, I've just got to the end of it, just sipping it all day. I would recommend getting one of these. Matt didn't use one, he just used bottles in his bag. But just being able to just have a little sip now and again, yeah, I'd highly recommend it, instead of having to stop and get it out of your bag. And it weighs nothing. So that was 1.5 litres there. And then, took literally this bottle, 850ml bottle, plastic bottle, so it weighs nothing. Water in here just for if I had to cook any evening meals or my morning brew and porridge. That's it. That's all I used that for, and it was perfect. That's just enough, and that was just enough. Any less than this, you're going to have to start stopping at places or filtering water. We did have to stop and filter water actually on day 3. But yeah, any less than this, you're going to have to start stopping regular to top up. Any more than this, you just probably carry an extra weight. So yeah, I feel like we got the water side of it perfect. Matt took similar, I think he had 2 bottles similar size to this. Cooking. This was the contents of my cooking kit. So, spork, you've already seen that. Silicone cup. Done. Stove was OEX Etna. Tiny little thing. £9. I mean, for £9 you can't complain. The sides come out like that. I'll show it you in action now. Bob on. Matt used the MSR Pocket Rocket, I think, which is about 35–40 quid. Yeah, good, works. It's like a jet engine actually. But £9, can't complain. It was on sale for £9. I think it's normally a bit more than that. C300mm gas stove. Still got loads and I've probably not even used half of it. All we cooked, we were trying to finish in pubs, so all we cooked were maybe 2 lunches or one tea, which was like a pasta and sauce dish, and then a brew every morning. Loads left in that. It could have probably gotten away with the next size down. One pan for boiling water and cooking in, and just cleaned it up afterwards. And then a little foot for the cylinder thing to stop it rocking over. That's an MSI one, £14, really lightweight, and I would recommend it to be fair, because it stops your pan wobbling over and it's really wide. That's that. Trowel didn't come in use. Luckily I managed to find local facilities, but yeah, you know what that's for. Wild poo. And that's it with the kit that I've got with me. So the other kit that I don't have with me, first aid kit. Matt took a first aid kit. Hygiene, I took a sandwich bag, sealable bag with some hygiene wipes in, a small travel deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, travel ones, Compeed, plasters, and didn't need them thankfully because good boots and socks, and a little tub of Vaseline, didn't need that. Oh, I started getting a rub between 2 of my toes, so I did put a bit of Vaseline between my toes to solve that issue. Electronics, I took a 20,000 amp hour battery pack for charging my phone and my camera. That was perfect for 4 days. After 4 days it would have run out, but at Coldbeck you can charge up at Coldbeck camping site. Head torch, little hand torch. I didn't actually use it, so I could have probably left that behind. I just used the head torch. That was a Nebo micro head torch, small little thing, but it was perfect. I took a light for in the tent, didn't need that, and I think that was it. I filmed it all on a GoPro Hero 8 with this tiny little tripod stick that comes with it. That was all I took for camera kit if you wanted to film anything. And that's it for the electronics. Food. So food, we were hoping to stop in pubs for our tea, so we took minimal food. We took a couple of pasta and sauces, the dry ones, really lightweight. Sorry, they were really good. So I'd take them. I used one of them and brought one back. I took porridge in a sachet, lightweight, good in the mornings. I didn't end up using them because I didn't feel the need to eat breakfast. I was fine. Matt took some ration packs, wet ones though, so they're quite heavy. I took 2 of them. I did eat them both to be fair. But yeah, we only took enough food for a couple of days because there's plenty of stops in the lakes, plenty of shops, so you can top up if you need to. I took like 2 days worth of snacks instead of 4, so I took 2 flapjacks and we took a bit of Kendal mint cake and that was it. So quite minimal because like I said, there's plenty of places to stop. Money, we didn't take any money, cash, we just took cards, which was a bit of a mistake. Along the route there's a couple of local people that live on the route, have things out you can buy, bits of flapjack, little souvenirs if you want to. Their money, obviously cash only. We came unstuck sort of towards the end of day 2, nearly needed a campsite, but they were cash only, so we couldn't stop at a campsite. And I think the campsites do prefer cash anyway. So just take between 10 and 30 quid, depending on if you want to stop at campsites or wild camp. A bit of cash will come in handy. Money. That's it. Maps wise, I've been through the maps already in the summary. As you know, we took 2 maps. I point over there because that's where it is over there. We took the 2 maps, the one on my phone and the Harvey's sort of long distance map. And I think that's it. Like I said, our packs were perfect. There's not a lot I could have left behind and I didn't need anything else. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope it was helpful to you. And I would highly recommend doing the route. It's a good trek, especially if you're your first one as well. It's not as long as some of the others, 73 miles. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Hope you learnt something and I will see you in the next video.